And then you have the commercial, right? You find that? Okay.
All right.
We have a commercial now.
Oh, cool.
What?
We're officials.
All right, we should be live.
And just so everybody here knows that doesn't realize it, we're not on screen yet, but they can hear us talking.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Kyle.
got some cool music going with our title card going.
Kyle. Check out this.
Sure.
I mean, like some of that classic Chevy Chase stuff there. Mostly Nothing But Trouble. I do have a Nothing But Trouble t-shirt, by the way.
Are those all Fletch characters or are those SNL characters?
No, that's all Fletch characters. Like the people that he like pretends to be in the movies.
Mr. Rosen. I can't remember. If it were 10 years ago, I'd be able to tell you all their names, but I haven't watched it in so long.
Dude, have you ever drawn a picture of the judge from Valkovania?
No.
I really think you should.
Level, but I've never drawn the judge.
Dude, you have to do it, man. Like, just, it can be on a fucking napkin. I don't care. Oh, sorry, we're live. It can be on a napkin.
After the second half. It's going to be the after hours party for sure.
Yeah, because no one on YouTube has heard the F-word.
Oh, we're going to get demonetized for the store.
So you guys were talking about aliens, and I don't want to throw David under the bus, but we were talking in the tattoo studio about getting a xenomorph tattooed on somebody, and Dave, we may have thrown your name in the hat, Gary. So, I mean, I know you wanted a raptor across your side, but if you want a xenomorph instead, I'm sure David would love to do it. You put one on our wall, so it's only fitting, right?
Ooh, I just had a great idea for an episode.
Freaking cool, though.
I'm starting to want a Wonder Woman tattoo. I should have you guys draw a bunch.
I have a few designs. I have a few references already picked out. I figured I'd want to do one soon anyway. So yeah, no, if everybody jumps in, yeah.
That's just me trying to get free ideas.
I'll do it.
I have no idea.
You know, dude, actually, you know what's funny? Yeah, you know what? That should be an episode. It should be an episode where Deanna actually picks what the episode is. It's only fair. Like, well, seriously.
We did an episode where we designed tattoos for other characters, which I want to revisit. And that was fun. That one's actually on my wall, but like, I want to revisit that one. I think that'd be cool.
Me too.
That one was fun.
Is everybody shared around? Is everybody here and shared around?
Yeah.
Shared around?
Yeah, like on Facebook and
whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes, I could do that.
One
Oh, turn that off. Maybe that's why I can't talk. Are we good on both YouTube and Facebook right now?
I think so, yeah. We're signed into our YouTube, so we have to be there, and then it's also on Facebook.
Yeah, but it just always doesn't seem to want to.
It gets picked up everyone. We were fine last time. If it messes up, you now know that it was Deanna's fault.
To all the people that ignore me on a regular basis. That's done. Everybody's so quiet. They're usually so chattery.
I think it's because everyone's doing their sharing on social media. Right. Oh,
you
my
guys
God.
are ready, everybody give a thumbs up and count down for Deanna.
Okay.
So you can't see me. Thumbs are
I
up.
believe. All right, Deanna. Here we go. Yeah, all right, here we go.
Hey there, fellow art nerds, and welcome to episode number 3 of season number 5 of the Pin Clique. Hi there, I am your host, Deanna. In just a few moments, I will be joined by my co-host, the talented Mr. Gary Bedell.
What's up, Internet Land? Thanks for coming out.
There he is. You'll see his face in just a minute. Thank you for joining us tonight. For anyone that's not familiar with the Pin Clique, we are an online art show. We go live once a month on Facebook and YouTube, which means you can find all of our past episodes on Facebook and YouTube to watch anytime you'd like. We go September through April, and we have a rotating clique of artists that join us, and each month we give them a prompt, and they give us their vision of that prompt, along with their thought process, their artistic process. You learn a little bit about how they think, how they work. Maybe they'll inspire you to want to do something too. And for November, our prompt is After Frezetta. So the famous Frank Frezetta, aka Godfather of modern fantasy art, is inspiring everyone's art this month. I think he has inspired their art in their lifetime as well. We will hear a lot about that, I'm sure. But content warning, if you are familiar with Frezetta, there may be some mature content shared. Scantily clad women, maybe not clad women, muscle-bound men, think Conan the Barbarian, that type of art. Gorgeous, but if your mom and dad wouldn't let you see this, maybe you watch another episode. But for now, let's bring out the clique and introduce everybody.
Hi. Everybody
Hi.
wave hi.
Hey, waves, you're all here.
Hi.
Hello.
There's a delay on your end if you're watching on your side, but
Like, now
you know,
they can see us.
you have to follow our cue. Hi.
Okay, well, say hi to the face of Mr. Gary Bedell.
Hello again, Internet Land. Thank you. And thank you, artists, for being here tonight. We really appreciate you guys participating in tonight's episode. I've been excited this past month, just super stoked. I've been wanting to poke and stalk you guys about it, but I can't because we can't look at the art before the episodes. But yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you for coming.
Gary, do you want to say anything else about Frezetta? Because I know you're way familiar with him before we start.
You know what's really crazy? He was one of those artists that I didn't realize that I knew about him till like later. I'd like seen his stuff like everywhere, like when I was a kid, and I really wasn't putting two and two together.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize know who he was until like later, like until like my late teens, early 20s. Well, actually, probably I'd say more early 20s because you're like, oh yeah, Frank Frezetta. And I'm like, oh, I've seen this album art or I've seen this poster. I'm like, I love this stuff, or the Conan stuff or the eerie or creepy stuff he did. I was like, I've seen this stuff before. I love this stuff. And that's who this guy is. And yeah, and then I made the connection. But yeah, it's just weird knowing that he's kind of just been in my life since I've been interested in art. I just didn't know who. I wasn't connecting the dots until way later. So yeah, my history with him and like his work is really strange, but I do really like his work.
Sweet.
You mentioned.
Well, let me introduce you to the rest of the clique this evening. We've got Mr. Nate Howard doing production for us. So if something's wrong, tell us in the comments and Nate will fix it.
Oh no, okay, that's fair. Okay, I thought it was gonna be far worse. No, we'll take one. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, also tonight we have got Josh Metter.
Hello. How's it going?
Woo.
We've got Eric E. Danger Right.
Hey, nerds.
Woo.
What's up?
We've got Isaac Crawford back.
Isaac.
Yes, hello. Hi, everybody.
We've got Daryl Claunch.
Hey.
All right, and joining us new to the Pin Click, our newbies for this evening, is Shannon Potratz
Hello.
and Mr. Mr. Kyle Strom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, and because your picture's not there, Miss Kat Miller.
Yeah.
Hello.
House.
Are we saving
She
someone?
needs like an avatar picture or
Right.
something.
We need to get you an avatar on there because I'm looking around desperately worried. And then Mr. Kevin Russell, oh, there he is having some internet issues, but he is about to pop back in, and hopefully his internet will play nice and he can stay with us.
He might not be on camera either. If
Yeah. Hey,
Kevin.
Hey.
you popped back
Angel
in
just
just
went
as I
out.
was introducing you, so perfect.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
I'm over here shutting things down and saying, all right, what's going on? So, yeah.
All right. Well, tonight, since we have a full house, we are going to show you 5 pieces of art. We're going to take a very short, like 5-minute break, and then come back with the other 4. I believe we have 9 tonight. The other 4 pieces of art. And because some of it's a little juicy, the juicier stuff's going to be in the second half of the show. So if that makes you want to stick around longer, perfect.
hide you after hours.
Oh yeah.
We're going to
We-
get started
we
right
should
away.
have
So
that.
we have so much art to
Yeah.
fit in tonight. And I already forgot who I said was first. Mr. Isaac. You're
Yeah,
up.
okay. Okay. I think you can see it now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The expression.
You know, these dudes are pretty scantily clad as well. They just have a-
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
you
yeah.
mentioned naked females. There could be naked dudes too. We don't know.
I
Yeah.
do. I looked at the art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I went all out, big action scene, a little watercolor and ink wash. I just wanted to, in one day, accomplish a big, ambitious project. And, I guess I can actually show you because this is a
Yeah, I was
video.
gonna say, what do you got there? Is that a video of it? Look at you.
I had a very small sketch. I realized to put, Frezetta's definitely known for those triangle compositions. It really helps if you put your character on a hill and you let everyone else is downhill. We got an automatic triangle. And so I just built in these cavemen here and my Conan character and did some ink wash, threw in a little paint, but then I went in with the inks and added some more paint at the end. I was going to use a brush, but I no longer own a good enough brush to use. So,
Is that a quill pen?
I didn't realize that till I tried to use it, that my brushes had gotten warped or something. So I just went with the pen here. And yeah, you'll see that I'm going kind of pretty quickly, just fleshing these guys out.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, yeah, adding a little more. I did use a brush just a little bit to add a few more blacks. And then I added some more ink wash and a little more color. And there's the initial. This is all I had in terms of a sketch.
Oh man.
With some some paint tests on it.
I dig it.
You got the
Well,
finished product from that page? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Even the sketch is beautiful. Like that is it's so cool, like seeing like all these ink tests just over this
Yeah.
beautifully done sketch, and the finished piece is gorgeous. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just love it.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I can say about it. I mean, I obviously went with the flame in the background and the smoke, so I could create some background elements and frame the important stuff, and kind of went with this kind of yellow to to purple or teal kind of colors. Yeah, any questions, guys?
You want to zoom in a little for us on some parts of it?
Yeah, just a sec.
For the old ladies with the bad eyes.
I'll have to share it from another screen, I think, to do that.
Was that like an ink dip, like quill pen that you were using?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the famous G pen for comics, like very common. Yeah, it's one of those nibs with a
Wow.
nib holder. Speedball Super Black.
Did you do the ink wash first because your ink is not waterproof with the G-nib?
No, I wasn't sure how much I wanted to throw in first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the color too. I didn't,
Yeah.
I realized as I was adding stuff, I thought I should do it first. And yes, I think it isn't waterproof. So I think you're right, actually. I was concerned that I would bleed my inks, but I started adding some color and ink wash until I realized I couldn't see my pencils anymore. So I better start inking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is a great
It's
piece.
so impressive. And there's so many of them. You
Yeah.
could have done like 2 or 3 in a fight with him, and that would have been cool. But
Right?
Just lots of movement.
yeah, there's so much going
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
I like the overlay of color with the smoke or the sky and the smoky-ish background there. And it's so well done. And the fact that it's traditionally
Right.
done too is like super impressive. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Watercolor has always been my arch nemesis. So like this is just like beautiful. Yeah.
You can do watercolor, Gary.
I'm just scared of it. So we're not gonna get into that.
You just got to take that advice that Daryl Banks gave you. You just got to take that advice and do it and try it.
And you
I
could have
think
had
it's-
like
Yeah.
those full figures in the back. They could have even as much darks as you typically use, man. Like you could have had like silhouettes of them in the flames in the back,
Yeah.
and yet you still
Ah,
fleshed
yeah.
them all out. Like
Muscles.
you've definitely been like curving different directions with your art lately, especially with the watercolor and the washes and stuff. Like, but it's still 100% you. But like, it's really interesting to see you playing in different directions like you have.
How
Yeah, it's
difficult
definitely.
how difficult is it to do line weight with a nib like that?
I mean, not too bad if you, I mean, I do it I'm not great at it, and I do very chicken scratch, style, I guess, if they're not style. But no, you can press harder and get a pretty good line variation. Not as much as with some other nibs.
Yeah.
Does angle work?
Because like you have some nice thin
It's
lines.
not, no, you can't really angle it. You pretty
Yeah.
much have to hold it
Right.
flat to at a particular angle to the paper and press harder to change your line.
Yeah, man, this is awesome.
I think it's hard when you get an assignment like this where it's like a circle of people around someone. For me, it's always difficult to force myself to overlap the people in the back because I'm always like, I got to show their whole figure.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think you did a really good job of overlapping enough so that that illusion is still present, but not so much that we can't see everything. I've drawn stuff like this, and it's so hard. So I think you did a nice. It's hard for me anyway. I think you did a really nice job.
Yeah.
Rachel Norton on Facebook, she was ready for Juicy Month, which reference to. Very cool. Love seeing the process. And then Jared George says, "Dope, so good."
What's up, Jared?
Might have missed, but what was the specific piece that you drew inspiration from? This is the Frank Frezetta episode.
For me.
Oh,
that's a question. Is that a question for me?
I think he was asking in general. I think he asked before you started, and it updated me. So yeah, I mean, is there a specific piece of his that inspired that one?
There's the Conan, the famous Conan image.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that,
Yeah.
but definitely didn't like compose mine that way. Yeah.
Awesome. No surprise. I knew that would be amazing.
Yeah.
This would be a blast for me.
Maybe we should
love-
just start sucking so that people will be impressed by us again.
Don't do that. No, that would not be a good thing. Eric, you're up next.
Oh boy. All right.
What?
Sorry, no, I don't have any music playing. I just,
You just can't help yourself.
yeah.
YouTube's gonna think it's something, and then we're gonna get
Oh,
divorced.
yeah. We're gonna get flagged.
Are you guys seeing it?
Yeah, we're seeing your screen.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So mine's not finished yet, but this is
Oh,
roughly where
dude.
we're at.
Nice.
The pillars, man. The
So,
pillars.
I love this.
I think
Oh, it's like Cowboy Bebop inspired.
Yeah.
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 It is going.
Yeah, it is Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Definitely loving that.
Thank
That's
you. I'm
great.
glad you like it.
Yeah, that's great.
It was a cover for something he did for Authors of the Future with L. Ron Hubbard. And I was like, well, okay, I guess. Let's see. So we're like 60% through the process with that. If you want to check it out, I brought some sketches tonight. This was really the first step, just trying to figure out what Frezetta does with some of his work, and then started
Little Battlestar
fleshing it out.
Galactica going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
trying to figure out what was coming naturally. Ended up with this Cowboy Bebop design, and here's the final sketch before I started going to this ridiculous 20 by 30 scale.
Dude, I love your sketches.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
I mean, they're
you.
pieces of their
I,
own.
I want those.
Yeah, the sketches are. I love seeing the sketches. That's beautiful.
So I just thought I had to figure out Frezetta's women because
Oh wow.
that
Yeah.
was mind blowing.
Yeah, his figures for women are iconic. Like they're
Yeah, for real, right?
hmm
And so didn't want to miss an opportunity to draw Faye Valentine like that. So here we go. Ooh.
The yellow cigarette light. Love
What's that?
The yellow light
Yeah, the
from
glow
the
on his face.
cigarette.
Yeah.
The flame off the faces there. Like that looks awesome.
I'm excited to see that one finished.
yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have it done. It's
You said it was 20 by 30.
yeah, it's a massive scale.
It's gonna be a pretty print.
I'm super excited for the print.
That
Will
will make
be. What's that?
that will make a great print.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how you're gonna approach the moons or the planets in the background?
Uh,
Were they gonna just be like gray moons, or are you gonna throw some color in there? Or
I'm definitely doing like kind of a washed out yellow ochre with some shades with like violets and blues. Like I don't think I have any of that Prussian blue in there yet, but like the way Frezetta like captured that stuff, I'm like, well, it's super bright. I'm gonna have to.
yeah,
Yeah. The red columns there, are those wings?
So I imagine the swordfish just crashing into this
Right.
random ass planet and like trying to imagine realistic damage to the ship that would also like show you the whole thing. So I'm imagining this wing in front of you falling off and then just
Yeah.
kind of
When you first brought it up, I had a little freak out moment, which was already captured on film. So, but But like he has an iconic painting of pillars. Like there's a certain way that he paints like marble, not just like
Yeah.
skin, but and figures, but the way it's like he had a thing for like painting textures and like shiny and so he flexed hard on pillars, which didn't seem to be like that big of a deal compared to everything else that was on in the page. But yeah, so as soon as I saw those columns shaped, I was like, I don't know, like you might be onto something even deeper than what was planned. But
I definitely noticed the way that like he created composition with like upright objects that kind of frame your subject matter for you, and I definitely wanted to capture that for sure.
Yeah, man, love this composition. I think you did an excellent job of carrying the eye through the whole piece and then bringing it back.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a hard thing to learn when you're a struggling young artist trying to trying to make the or trying to keep hold of the viewer's attention for sure.
Yeah.
Really love I wish I could point, but the textures and light and shininess on the circular ship thing and
this bit
down and to the right, the big circular cockpit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the weird starburst shaped things that are circling around it. I'm really fascinated by all of the watercolor on that. It looks really great.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to know?
Yeah, when is it done?
I don't.
Every season we tease we're gonna do. I'm gonna finish this episode, and every single time it doesn't happen often, but Eric has always completed. I think this is the third one that he's done, and he has always completed his pieces. We could probably just do the Eric show, and it would be.
I want to do the Eric show for sure.
We've got a handful of people that have actually gone in and finished them.
My convention brain, I'm thinking that would be a great live panel. Just have you guys bring the stuff that you didn't finish on the show.
And finish it in front of people? You think it was hard enough by ourselves?
Let's do that actually. I'm all on board for it.
I'm down.
All right.
Very
well done, dude.
God, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
I keep looking at
This is amazing.
The surface treatment you're doing with the rocks there and the colors that you're using in the rocks themselves. God, it's so amazing.
It was really difficult trying to figure out what Frezetta is doing with the terrain. Like I don't know. He switches up his colors in some weird ways where everything's like super muted and washed out, and then there's this like super bright blue in the middle.
Right, blues and greens, almost like sickly colors. Even in skin tone, he can take sickly colors and make them just like naturally glow. And it's like,
well, that's one thing about his work that always fascinated me is that even when it was a static shot, it was always in motion. And his colors were just part of. It was like everything in his painting lives. So, and the color reflects that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a big lesson and a huge step for me as an artist. I believe I'm going to be incorporating some more of Frezetta's language in some future stuff for sure.
Nice.
Careful.
Awesome,
I
dude.
definitely noticed like a lot, like what we were saying with the colors and the greens and the blues and the odd colors you don't think belong. Like I think it was Chris Yarbrough that actually like made me pay attention a lot to and just the color theory of underwashes and undercolors and stuff and how they can. It's like, man, those are gross colors, and then it's like, well, never mind. Like they work. Like if I was to watch him do what he does, like in a Bob Ross video, I would be going like, no, why would you do that? Oh, you ruined it. Like putting that big old tree right down the middle. Like no, I guess green does go in skin. That's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm always fascinated by other people being able to like really kind of mix with different colors and put fuchsias and stuff and stuff that's very drab and kind of ordinary looking and No, so I'm glad that you caught that, and dude, your sense of color and the way you build things is fascinating. I mean, especially since in the beginning you think about how much just pencil work you did. Like, I mean, we always knew you could do more. You did an entire comic in oversized watercolor, like we always knew. But in the pen click in season 1 and 2, like a lot of your pieces were just like heavy pencil work. And then I don't know, you're just really flexing a lot, and it's always cool to see you.
The pandemic gave me a lot of time to practice with color.
See, you gotta focus on those silver linings of the pandemic.
So true.
That's where the pen click was born.
Yeah, it was actually.
You shouted out to Chris Yarborough. He's in the Facebook feed right now.
Oh,
what's up, Chris?
Hey, shout out.
Just your face.
We love you, dude.
Do next month's episode. White Elephant Exchange.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris and Haley were the two that I was really hoping was in here, just because their women are always so Frezetta-y.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, they will kill this. I want to see what they put in there. So
yeah. Haley won the Juicy Award when we handed out trophies in season 1 finale. She and Sarah both would almost like compete with female figures, and it was. And like I said, I was talking with her today at the tattoo studio, and she really regretted not being here. She has to work, but I was just like, dude, it's your episode, you know.
Yeah.
So she might pop in for a second, or she might not. Who knows?
All right. Well, next up, Shannon. Are you ready for your first pin click?
I don't know. I got to follow that. So,
welcome to the fan click.
Okay.
Nice.
So is that one? Everybody see that?
Yeah, dude.
So, you know, I love Frezetta's painting, obviously, but some of my favorite pieces of his are his ink drawings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like the Kubla Khan portfolio and some of his Lord of the Rings portfolio stuff is just his ink work it's so directional, like his painting, it's always in motion. So definitely got a lot of inspiration from him in terms of inking style. So
yeah, man, there's so much motion in this.
Thank you. And
everything has a texture.
Talk about that triangular composition. So
it's a design brain thing. It's like, but with it's like a design brain thing where it's like you're sending a message, and if you only had a quick second to look at it, you see exactly what's happening. Message sent, and
yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, this is so obviously inspired by his black and white stuff. I'm actually working on putting some color in this because kind of, I don't know, somewhere midway through starting it, I decided I was gonna turn this into a variant cover from my friend Jake Allen's comic book Rangor. So this is gonna end up being a variant cover for his comic.
Oh, cool!
So cool, man.
That'll be rad.
So,
I love the texture.
You know, I started out real loose with the blue. You know.
Oh yeah.
Work out all the construction and then kind of go in with a layer, fill in some of the detail. And then I'll use that the blue line that I use. I'll actually go in and I'll turn it into a halftone.
I was curious about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll use that as a shading layer.
Yeah.
For my color. I've got a flat layer in here already. So.
Oh wow!
So I'm just laying in the color flats, and then I'll go in with some rendering after that. So.
Cool. Love that creature design too.
I love that creature.
I love the texturing in your black, like on the background, the stuff that you have pushed back, like in the teeth and the mouth and stuff like that. You could have just filled that black, and it would look awesome. But you could see like that texture work is.
Yeah, thank you. I have a tendency to avoid solid blacks if I can.
I like you. That negative space speaks in a lot. Like
so. Yeah, thank you.
Really dig the line work with the water too.
Yeah.
That so guys like Joseph Clement Cole and Franklin Booth, those guys, you know, you look at the way they ink water and clouds and things like that. So it's like it's hard not to be inspired by that. You know,
And this would be
I know
fun to
this is the
tattoo.
Frezetta talk, but there's so many guys that I'm inspired by. So
Yeah, I want your line work version of this. I want to tattoo this. That would be so much fun.
Oh wow.
I really like the tentacle in the background that has the water like streaming off it. I think you did a really
Yeah.
nice job.
this one right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll blend some of that.
We're
with it.
such artists, dude. That's so funny. We were like the little part with the tentacle of the
Yeah.
water. Like, yeah, 'cause we all felt that moment. We're like, yeah.
Usually
an
we're like
artist
this whenever
now.
there's like flesh or blood draining off of like bone, and we're like, oh, I love how it just kind of just melts off the flesh. This is
Right.
the
But he's
tamest
right.
PG version of that we're.
Those are the kinds of moments where you're like, well, I've drawn it, and the colors can figure out what's water and what's tentacle later.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Jared George, I want to color that one. So you already got people lined up. I want to tattoo it. Jared wants to color it. And then Rachel, those colors, the eyes of the creature already pop. Yeah, and I think she might have. They may have mentioned that before you showed the color layer. So
Yeah.
it's already. Yeah, that just they're both right. But that blue, like whenever you had your pencils, like your blue pencils, man, I'm a huge fan of seeing like the under grunge, you know. And then I see, and then you put your dark layers on top of that, and you leave them both open at the same time.
Right.
Like there's just something about it, just feels that this looks so cool to me.
I almost hate when I'm digitally altering these. I almost hate taking the blue out.
I know, it's so it just looks
because
so
I kind of
cool.
like seeing that underdrawing in
Right.
there, you know. So,
but your underdrawing is still really clean and neat too. So it's like, well, I mean, so then when you had the overlay, your halftones, I was curious, is that a brush that you built or that you?
you know, it's actually I just go in. I actually create a mask. I'll go into the channels and I'll create a mask, and then I'll reverse it out and then create a halftone.
Oh wow,
nice.
So the halftone is actually just a mask over a solid layer of blue.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Okay.
One fell swoop. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then I can change it if I need to. You know, I can go back and, you know, I don't like the way the halftones work in here, so I can go in and fix it and, you know, or whatever, and then you know, play around with it. So
it's so striking, man. That contrast is so, I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
Very well done. I love that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost the 10 minutes or so that we give for each piece is almost not enough, because the longer you look, the more things you see.
I'm sorry, I'm just fanboying here. It's the first time I've gotten to.
I do want to see more.
Just wait until Kyle jumps on. I haven't got to scream in his face about his work, and
right. I can't wait to see everybody else's. I was excited to see what everybody did. So this is fun.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's what the pig is all about, fun for you guys.
Yeah. I think you captured that moment. The moment of like action is what you really captured. I think that's something in Frank's work is like he always captures that pivotal moment between like the biggest action happening.
Right. Exactly. It's like he's just about to do something really cool. You know, so you know, what's the next
But
piece?
it's too late to undo it. It's too late for him to stop doing it.
he looks like he just went from a shock to a smirk, and very well done, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so rad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to stop sharing my screen. Sorry, here.
We're all just staring.
How do I? Oh, here. Sorry.
You figured it out quicker than us. We've done this 5 seasons. We're like,
well, I was looking for it at the bottom of the screen. It's not there at the bottom of the screen.
Well, as soon as you figure it out, Zoom will change it.
Yep.
All right. Well, next up, Kyle. I am sharing yours, aren't I?
Oh, everybody froze.
Did.
You're still moving?
You're doing fine.
All right, great. It was just a lag.
Okay. Oh, where's the other one? Shoot. There it is. Did you want to start with
So put the high contrast one up first, if you wouldn't mind.
the newer one?
Yeah, the newer one.
Hold on, I'm opening it. I've learned not to open it from Google because then I give away all the other pieces behind
Yeah, it shows the drives.
I learned the hard way. All right. Put you in front. I don't usually have to share my screen much, so I'm not great at it. Okay.
Better you than me.
Hey, Kevin, are you receiving?
Sorry? Oh man.
Oh
Yes,
man.
yeah.
Okay, this can you still see it?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Shane language, man.
Yeah.
So we'll show you again, and we'll show you in a minute. Like 20 years ago, probably more, I was trying to get working for like RPG companies that do like Dungeons and Dragons guides and stuff. So I made this portfolio of a bunch of fantasy stuff, and there's a drawing of these Yetis, is what I call them, that I like totally was looking at Frezetta heavy when I drew them. So I went back and pulled that out and kind of inked on top of it in a completely different style. So this is the one that I did today. And are you able to show the pencil-y one from long ago?
All right. Stop share, reshare.
That was cool. That's just so simple and chilling. Like
It's like Frezetta meets Sin
Oh
City.
my
Oh
goodness.
man.
Okay.
So that's the one from a long time ago where I really didn't. This is like impossible for me to ink. I'm sure somebody with very ink jobs could do it. But when I was finished penciling it, I was like, I don't know how to ink this thing. And I think I tried a couple of times and totally blew it. So I just left it alone back then. And now today, when I downloaded it, I was like, this guy's arms are too short. And I was like stretching stuff around. I spent way too long. And then just decided to crop in on their faces. But yeah, back then I would just pencil to death. It was not necessary to do all that penciling. But I was definitely staring at Frezetta while I did it.
Yeah, man, it shows, dude. Those shapes, just the way they all point inward, like to what, like those eyes, like on the dude on the left, like everything about him points straight to that face and the teeth and the eyes.
Yeah. The big horn helms and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely Frezetta.
That's
we talk about triangles. I mean, that's.
But if you go back to the new one, I can tell you.
Well, here, let's see. I think I can show them both, maybe screen 1, screen 2. Oh.
No, those are separate monitor displays. Yeah.
Okay, because I say I am. Did that
look
work?
at that.
That worked.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, look at you.
I tried a couple things. I had
That's it. Deanna's doing it for everybody now.
No.
No.
I'm so stressed out.
I did mess around with having like the underdrawing showing through some. Didn't really like it. Ended up just going way graphic with it.
I love it.
Just snow, just a brush in the background for the snow. The streaks are a gouache brush they have in Procreate.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty
So,
fast.
is this? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is this black and white? Is that all digital then, or?
Yeah, the one on the left is all digital.
Gotcha.
Did it all in Procreate.
That's fantastic. I love that.
I love the beard shape underneath it. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's the teeth. Something about the teeth.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It brings out the
Like you said,
I love
with the
drawing
old
big
one.
old weird teeth.
Yeah.
Jared,
I love that you don't really know what they look like. There's kind of a mystery, you know.
right. Well, it's like
The
it's like
ambiguity,
they know something you don't. Just like the piercing look in their eyes, and then with the beard and those teeth are like they're very like they're gonna get you. Like they have a plan. Like it's Jared, the Knights Who Say Souls, like the Knights Who Say Meat. And then Rachel, I think the cropping was a great choice. The pencil piece is neat, but there's something about the cropped version feels much more menacing. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And
I like her version. That's exactly the way.
And the composition is just, it's when you crop it like that, the composition is really interesting. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you woke up and they're like, oh, they're awake.
Yeah.
See, I would be scared with the cropped version. Those guys coming at me, they look intimidating.
Right.
The other dudes, I would run screaming for my life.
They look just as curious. They're curious about you in the right, but the one on the left are like, oh, they're awake.
Oh, those
now.
masks. But
I wish I'd drawn their nipples on the one on the left.
well, then you'd be in the second half of the show.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's time, but I put a picture for Gary in the drive. Are you able to see it? It's called
you did?
Gary.
Hold up.
All right,
Let me look before I stop sharing, so I don't.
all right.
I promise
I
I'll
gotta
finish this
fast
episode as
everyone.
this with nipples.
A long time ago, when I did this drawing on the right, I also had a comic that was very similar where I was looking at guys like Frezetta and Wrightson and other stuff. I went and talked to an artist who I admired for a critique, and he looked at my page and he was like, well, that's a Frezetta hand. That's a Bernie Wrightson arm. That's Eduardo Rizzo. That's that. And he basically was like, so just keep doing what you're doing, but try to quit copying and come back in like 3 years and talk to me.
That's funny.
And he was right. It took 3 years to like work it all out, you know.
See, no nipples. See, not copying.
Listen, you mentioned for the older one that you like to pencil things to death. But that's
Yes.
There you go, Gary.
but, you can tell over time you definitely learn what you can get rid of or keep with maximum impact.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
okay,
so
back to the
effective.
Baker nose.
Yeah.
No, these are incredible. All
Yeah.
right, I'm
Very
not
well
sharing.
done.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Let's say it out loud for make it happen. All right, close. All right, and now the banker. What is this for, Gary?
Gary asked for that like 20 minutes ago.
No. All
It's
right,
like
here
a
goes
super inside joke.
recording. Share screen. Come here. All right.
It's from the movie Nothing But Trouble with
Right.
Chevy Chase and Demi Moore and Dan Aykroyd.
That's awesome.
And Dan Aykroyd's like the judge of Malcolmania. He plays this character. Dude, it's like one of the best movies.
It's ridiculously
It's
awesome.
awesome. It's got Digital
What-
Underground.
I'm sorry, what
Tupac
movie
in
is
that
this?
movie.
Just thinking of that movie the other day and I couldn't name it. All right.
Who's the rapper that shows up randomly in it because it was
It's Digital Underground.
Oh,
That's
is it?
what,
Okay.
that's what
Okay.
Tupac was a part of the group.
Okay.
Tupac's in that
Okay.
movie. And they had this wonderful part where Chevy Chase ends up on this roller coaster called the Bone Stripper, and the Bone Stripper song is just the best.
so
It's
good.
great.
Is that Humpty Hump in it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Digital Underground.
yeah. I heard somebody once reference 90s movies as the period of the Hammer Claws. Because every single movie had to have a random rap song, like Addams Family, Ninja
Oh,
Turtles.
yeah.
All had a random rap song in there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Nothing But Trouble's good in the worst kind of way.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the $5 bin, or where it's free wherever you're streaming. I guess.
$5. It's a highway robbery.
$5, sir. It was
Oh my goodness.
borderline second
Yeah.
half piece
Digital
though with the phallic
Underground.
nose, but maybe it
Yeah.
was only me that noticed.
That's what I
No, no.
said. I gave a little
no,
warning
I saw
before I shared it.
He actually had issues with the censors in that movie with the ratings because of
His nose.
Oh, wow.
That is his nose.
Now everybody has something to go watch after the show.
His nose.
All right. Well, next we are going to, before the break, have Miss Cat.
With the censors in that movie with the ratings because of
His nose.
Oh, we got somebody.
Somebody
Oh,
go watch after the show.
okie dokie.
We got
Next.
somebody. Somebody's watching.
Or somebody's playing the Facebook in the background.
Who would
Some-
do such a thing?
Oh,
We
I
need-
checked.
I mean,
It's
we
not
need
me.
the views, so thank you.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Wait, what the hell?
Wait. Oh, wait.
What's going on?
You nailed that, Frazetta. Like, oh, we gotta
Force
Oh.
booty.
Okay, sorry. I have no idea what my screen's doing. Okay. So I wasn't entirely sure how this was gonna go, so I treated it like a master study because I've actually been wanting to do a master study of this particular Frenzetta piece because it's one of his few women pieces that does not have tits.
No, they're there.
Or sex. So, you know, it was definitely different. So yes, no. As for the final, this is actually partially a fan art piece.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've been reading the sequel series to Ranger's Apprentice called The Royal Ranger. And the lead in that is female and is on a horse. So, yes. Tiny horse, but on a horse. So, yes.
Yeah, kudos to you for tackling a horse. Like, the anatomy of those animals, especially with somebody riding them in an action pose is very daunting.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of cheating on this, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, you know, we all assume that we all cheat. You don't have, you know, you don't have to lie.
Is there such a thing as cheating?
No,
right? Right.
Now, see, me as a viewer, I just assume you guys are all so talented. It blows my mind.
Oh no, you're right.
Cheating does not come into it at all.
No, you're right. Well, and there's something we talked about it before. It's like when I was a kid, I would look at like comics or I would look at, you know, animations or whatever, and I just assumed that what I saw was how they drew it. Like there was no shaping of body parts, there was no anatomy, there was no search lines, there was no like guessing and checking and just deciding on things as you go. I thought they just went, oh, there it is, and they just replicated, you know. So the process is always, that's why we do the process in the pen click, is we really wanted to focus on it.
Sure, yeah.
I think I had a breakthrough moment when I noticed a photo transfer in a Neil Adams Batman comic. and I was like, you just straight up put a photograph in there and like
Phony. That was like before AI. Like when you see like, you know, old Disney movies that were rotoscoped, you know, like, oh no, I see what you did, you sneak.
Man,
and then they took the rotoscope and then rotoscoped the rotoscope. It was
favorite rotoscope is the Lord of the Rings one.
Oh yeah. There was a bit that was Winnie the Pooh and Mowgli in Jungle Book that were like frame for frame, and it's just like, all right, well, I guess, you know, when you know the rules, you can break them.
Really like, we haven't talked about anybody doing this yet, but Frezetta always, he like makes it look like their legs are growing out of the ground, sort of. It's always, he like doesn't do much detail around the feet and it turns into like one thing. And I really like that you did that.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's cool.
He was the original artist who didn't draw feet.
Yeah, he made it look deliberate.
That horse's head and his that
he couldn't be bothered, but
that profile, man, that's a nice horse profile, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad that it turned out better than I thought, or than it did originally, because I literally copied the horse from there. But because the particular horse in the series is more pony size, I tried to remember what I could whenever I was a kid and had horses and ponies, and like real living ones I had to go and take care of.
Brag about it.
And how their structure was whenever I had to work with them. And they were always like, depending on the breeds, the particular pony I had was a Shetland, and they're really robust. And that was something that it was actually talked a lot about, and it is talked a lot about in the series. It's a YA series. I highly recommend you guys reading it if you haven't, but
what is it?
It's a YA series, young adult series.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Have you all seen Painting with Fire?
Yeah.
The Frank Frezetta documentary?
I have
Okay.
not. I wanted to so bad.
if you can find a copy of the special edition of Fire and Ice on DVD, it includes it's a little box that includes Painting with Fire, and I highly recommend. Highly recommend
Okay.
watching it.
Yeah.
You can find it on Amazon Prime too.
Oh, good to
Oh,
know.
well, there you
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know
Wish
about
I
you.
had
I
known
always
that.
have to look up. Whenever I draw an archer, I always have to look it up because I can never remember. But I really like the fingers, what the fingers do
Right,
when you're.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right there at the
I really
fletching.
enjoy how they look, and I really enjoy drawing them. And you did a really nice job, also.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
especially in that pose, because it's like you got the horse figure already, which is already like it could be very distracting, away from the body. But you have a body that's not only facing one way, but then twisted around the other way, and the perspective of the arrow, and yet the arms still work. Like it's you have so many things that are competing, and it's very specific to get that body to. I guess I'm just freaking out about the fact that you have a human being on a horse in two different directions and it's working. like I don't.
Well, it's
that's
dynamic,
not-
but it doesn't look wrong.
right.
Yeah, the
and
balance
you,
is
you
really
did it for
solid.
funsies. That's impressive. like
So a lot of this is just from my personal experience between archery and horse riding and all that. I never did both of them together, but
yeah, I mean, good luck finding a reference for this just loosely on Google. Like that's
yeah.
Painting with Fire is on YouTube for free if anybody wants
really?
to watch it.
Sweet.
Right.
There's something for my weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really dig how the cape kind of works with the tail and pulls the flow. Like the tail goes up to the cape, pulls it into the dude, but then it wraps, or not the dude, but the character, and then wraps it around the person as well. So you got this really nice central flow that pulls you right through everything.
That was something I was really because her figure was so different from the original pose. That was something that I really tried to pay attention to. It was not only the movement, but I tried to keep as true to both the character and the lore of the series, and I tried to take as much as I could from Frezetta, how Frezetta did come on, there we go, did her coloring, because it's actually very, very subdued. He did way more on the horse. Like the horse is the most important part of this painting than her, but he like really had this nice like how he had the darks interplay with the light and everything. That was really, really nice. But yeah, no, the horse was the main part of this for his
It's because he wasn't used to having them fully dressed, and so he didn't know.
right.
But yeah, I like that, like her S curve you definitely used with your character really well, but pulling it all together with the horse.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And it gave like the shape of the back. I mean, I guess if you want to call a horse juicy, but that the way the way the cape kind of like drapes over the back end of it gives it that shape and that volume to, that's a stout horse, like just because the way it lays over.
Yes. Yay, success.
Yeah.
Definitely success.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Kat. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Yay. All right, we're halfway through, which means we are going to attempt our first break ever.
We're 2 minutes.
I mean,
or is it 5? Okay.
I mean, the commercial's only like 25 seconds, and then I could switch to our title screen again if you want.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. The title screen is drawn by Jeff Pessinger. So he did an amazing job for our event cover.
And it was hand painted, and I mean it'll be back. Well, I'll pull the title screen up after the commercial's over, and you can see it. But he did it entirely in oil painting. He's a traditional painter. He has another piece that he did, and he focused a lot on a column, a very Frezetta like iconic image. I did not get a response from him about whether or not he sent it to us, so I would love to include it. But yeah. Anyways, Jeff, if you're watching, thank you so much, man. And he did this like 2 months ago. As soon as we announced that we made the list, he got to work. So
like, here's your cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, please stay tuned during the break, or go after the commercial. Run to the bathroom, grab another drink, whatever you got to do, and come back. And pin clickers, remember that if your microphone is not on mute during the break, we can hear whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not ominous.
Okay, commercial break. And...
Everyone went auto mute.
And go.
Clever Kaiju is an artist-led organization that brings visual artists together to learn, develop, create, and bring their work to the world. We host a live art show called The Pin Clique and virtual labs with professional instructors. Check out our webcomics, online store, event schedule, and Discord community at cleverkaiju.com. That's Kaiju, cleverkaiju.com.
I'm ready to be back if everyone else is.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. We're getting ready to bring the click out. We took a short break. Hopefully everybody didn't break the seal and we have to take another break before it's over. We have 4 artists left, but is the click ready to come back? I'm ready for you.
Everybody present?
Nate, you're still on mute, I think.
Hey, welcome back. I have a separate mute on my mic. I forget that if the thing doesn't. Yeah, we made it through our first commercial break. Congratulations.
I missed the commercial though, because I really had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it worked out.
I'll look at it later.
I'm assuming Cats will be back soon. I don't know.
I'm here.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
listening.
right on. Look at that. I saw Kevin pop in, so it's like, oh, look at that. We're good at this. We'll never do it like this again. But we did it once, so that's
Now that it works.
Mm-hmm.
We just keep packing these shows. We'll need breaks. Mm-hmm. All right, back into it. Next up, Mr. Gary Bedell.
Well.
Here we go.
Welcome back from the break. Now it gets real juicy. No. So like I said, I had a weird, I guess, artistic relationship with Frezetta's work, and again, I've always liked it, but again, didn't discover till I was like a lot older, into my 20s. But I love his composition. I love that he's always doing high fantasy stuff or like weird science. Like I like his science fiction-y stuff because even his weird science fiction stuff felt like fantasy. Like when you do like John Carter, or there's the piece that Eric, you brought it up with the crashed spaceship.
Yeah.
On there, yeah, like, but it still felt like high fantasy. It didn't feel like super sci-fi to me, even though it was sci-fi. I just love what he's doing. But you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started out with just some like thumbnails. I was gonna do like a guy, pretty much naked guy fighting a manticore. It's like a lion with like a person's face, and I think it has a scorpion's tail. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes it has wings, but this one I didn't want it to have wings. I wanted it to look like really weird, like some, like you see like some super bearded like ginger guy. But he would have like lion teeth. It'd be like crazy.
Like Yarbrough or like.
Did he pop back in? Did he leave? No, okay.
But that's what my manticore would look like. It just was so fitting because if you look at like the old like drawings of them, like from the ancient Roman art or whatever. They have like the nice curly mustaches and the kind of the curly-ish hair. Yeah. I was like, I want to draw it like that. But this is just like gonna be some magician fighting a guy on a hill. I just wanted some epic action. This was gonna be more guys fighting.
More guys fighting. It's like the caption.
He's gonna like be kicking this guy in the face, and like all these guys were gonna be falling down behind him, and it was gonna be insane. And then there was gonna be like his partner there, holding a spear, and like she was gonna be spearing one of these guys through the head.
Nice.
I'm kind of just digging your thumbnails right now.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Thank you. Then I would do like I had like a sorceress and like some like weird dragon creature with this crazy tail. It's kind of this midway between sci-fi and fantasy, which I love. Then I was gonna do like a female Grim Reaper. It's probably like the way he would do it in some way, because I know he always drew horses in weird ways, like Kat was showing like in her example.
Yeah,
he's always drawn horses, and when he does, they're always in weird positions. And I always liked that. And this one was going to be kind of like what's that called? Night on Bald Mountain.
Journal.
Oh yeah,
Very
from
cool.
Fantasia.
But it's gonna be something kind of like that, but it's gonna be like a bunch of demon women and this big demon guy. So it's something you totally see like on a metal cover.
So it sounds like Tenacious D sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it totally would just like be that.
Yeah.
But I ended up going with this one here, just because I just there's just something about it that I really liked, and it had a nice flow to it.
Yeah,
and honestly, like with the time that I had to do it, it was just realistic for me to do. So what I ended up doing is bringing it into a new document and blowing it up. So I'll take my sketch and I'll blow it up, and I start refining like I do with the green here, and then I ended up with something like this for my line work.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Trying to use heavy shadows, and I was using and I did want solid black. There was something about like with this especially, I felt like it would feel more organic and more true if I wasn't just dropping in big blotches of black. And the Frezetta brush lends itself to that. Yes, I literally used a brush called the Frezetta brush.
It looked like somebody
to
just
do this.
carved in black
I had
by
to.
hand.
I just had to. So this was my baseline work that I was going to do my painting on. And I started with I'm gonna just do some of the layers, and I'm just gonna show you what the final looks like. I just started like laying down colors like with like a rough brush there. Just like playing with different stuff.
Did you use the Frezetta brush on those too?
No, actually I used a watercolor brush and
smart ass.
But my end result, my first end result was like this, and then I did a paint over and ended up with this.
My God.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Damn, dude, that's clean.
Dude, that's like really, really good.
That's pretty.
Like a really good homage.
There's so many colors, but they're like, I wouldn't say muted, but they blend well.
They're gonna complement each other really well.
This was one of the most frustrating pieces that I've done. I've never worked like him, and like trying to work with the color and like, I was just.
Well,
I was
that
not
vintage painting look to it too. It looks like something.
Yeah.
Well, if I turn these off, if you look at this layer, it's a canvas layer.
Yeah.
I made with like some paper texture.
Oh yeah, I can't really see that well, but
I worked on top of it.
Dude, it looks like aged, like it would be in a magazine from his,
Well, and just like Frezetta, you didn't give yourself a single like normal easy body plane to work with. Like every single part of her is twisted in a why the hell did I draw it this way situation?
Yes,
which I did, but I can also understand the frustration.
Did anybody commission him to do a portrait of their kids where they're just sitting there smiling, all cheese face, and like without twisting and distorting them?
I am willing to bet there's some of his girls out there.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, but would they be? I mean, would they be like all like weird angles and?
I was gonna say, I'm not saying it was normal portrait painting, but I'm willing to bet they're out there.
Actually, they are fairly normal.
Right?
Yep.
Fine.
Gary,
sorry.
Her body is just so graceful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Her body is graceful. It looks so graceful.
Can you guys see this family picture by Frank Frezetta?
Oh, he did that?
Wait, what?
That's a family picture by Frank Frezetta.
I don't see it.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah. Jared George, the lighting of that orb is the lighting off that orb though. Yeah, dude, that glow off of.
Yeah.
underneath her hand and how the lighting hits her body. Like that's.
I really love the texturing in the rock and the flesh on the creature too.
Yeah.
That's
that eye is adorable.
The roof of his mouth.
Yeah.
I love. I don't know why.
He's got those soft puppy eyes, you know, even.
Like one thing that everybody that's shown has done really well is the movement of Frezetta's work, and this is exemplary as well. Just there's no like slow angle. There's no rest anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything has got movement and vibration in this piece.
Yeah, it's a snapshot with the shutter speed like ridiculously high. Like it's like so like everybody else would be blurred, but he captured it in paintings. Like
That's the other thing. I didn't use anything like chromatic abrasion or any kind of like certain effects for this. I wanted it to feel as authentic as it could digitally.
Well, like he mentioned with that glow, the glow from that orb, you can see like a blending of like a few different colors just to create that. Like if you zoom in, zoom in even further. Like get in there.
He's like, get in there.
I mean, this is excellent for a couple reasons, but anyways, but those are, you see the pink and the, like there's like a pinkish glow that's just kind of like blended in, and then that white and the yellow, the way it kind of, there's like a green just on the top, and then it blends into like an orange in the bottom. Like that's a very like that's a very organic light from like a few colors, and that's impressive. Like you could have easily just put like a lens flare right there on top of it.
Just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
I know. No,
I really
guys.
like your placement of blacks. Like you've just put your blacks in just a few areas that really carry your eye throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, like in the rock and like
Well, I like how you didn't choose black in the rock. Like that's just brown, but your solid blacks are just in the creature and her hair.
Yes,
just to draw your eye.
Yeah,
I felt like they needed something about them that stuck out.
It's like it's like the old cell animation setup, you know, the hand drawn where they have the background and the figures like, you know, separate. They paint the backgrounds and the foreground separately, and then they kind of layer the cells for the characters on top of it. It's got that almost vintage style like illustration kind of. Yeah, it looks like you have a creature interacting with a foreground piece that was done separately. Like, but they work well together. It's hard to explain. I'll shut up. But
did you make that Skeletor's lance on purpose?
What was that?
Did you make it Skeletor's lance on purpose?
I think that's what I had in mind, probably for the head. I was like, it
Kyle.
is super metal.
You did a really good job. No matter where your eye lands, it forces you to move around, but it never kicks you out of the image. You're always just moving around because everything has motion that points to another thing that points to another thing. And the brilliance of it is in the bottom left corner, you just leave right there, but you put this little triangle so it's pointing right back in at the head of the monster.
This little guy right here.
Oh, that little guy right there.
that
Man, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I was really nervous about this episode. So guys, like, man, I thought I blew it. I was like, oh
no,
my
that's
god,
really cool.
I poked at it like a lot before the show. I had it done for a while, then I was like, man, I got to poke at this again. There's just something.
And thanks for showing your thumbnails. I want to see every one of those finished too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually
all done in that style.
Yeah. Well, he did with some of their kaiju events and stuff. He'll do like seminars. He'll teach. And we only get like an hour and a half. So he's got entire references of just like finding that whole thumbnail process, and like he has people of all ages in there, including my nephew who was like 5 or 6 at the time. And how my nephew has a whole sketchbook full of exactly those, just black figured shapes and stuff. I don't know if I have. Yeah, yeah. For example, I don't know if you can see it very well, but
Nice.
one class with Gary Bedell, and this is what he was doing, and I mean, and this was just page one. So it's like, so he you get those compositions, you get those ideas out of your head, and you get really quick at them. It's really impressive. So it's like, but yeah, every one of them, Gary's probably going to see it in like 3 or 4 years and be like, I'm going to do something with that, and then he'll just drag and drop, and next thing you know, it'll be like Frezetta too. So it's a very valuable step in the process. I just don't have the patience. So good job.
You know, there's times when I'll just jump right into a piece. I won't even thumbnail it. I'll just jump right in.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just know, though. You
Yeah.
know? Sometimes you're like, okay, it has to be this. I know it's this.
Well, and every once in a while,
like
a
that
piece will just
sometimes.
take on a life of its own, and it'll go in a completely direction than you even thought when you started. You know, so.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. You have that many thumbnails. Do you ever like feel the urge to go finish another one of those?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've done that before. Like, oh yeah, where it's like
most of the pen click are previous thumbnails.
Or, you know, I draw stuff in my sketchbook all the time, like little thumbnails of things, and then I'll go back like years later, and then I'm like, I want to turn that into a painting. That'd be really cool to make that a painting. It's like your personal catalog. If something doesn't work for one thing, save it for something else later. None of your work is disposable. It's your resource. You know, all your thumbnails are your resources. If it doesn't work for one thing or not selected, use it for something else.
Very nice. Good advice. Way to end your section, man.
It's an artist version of taking notes.
All right, next up, Kevin. Are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be. No pressure. Just pretty much I was influenced by I mean tongue tied. Frezetta inspired me because of his energy to his work, you know, the mood. And I see you guys definitely captured aspects of that. And when I was in school, I studied his work a lot. At first I was doing a bunch of thumbnails, but nothing didn't click, plus I've had a lot of things going on. And when you speak about just jumping into it, let me just show you. I started in the sketchbook the other morning. And this is what happened.
Remember, your camera's off.
Yeah, but I think you can still share screen without it.
Yeah, he can still share screen.
Unless he's showing in the camera, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's
loading. All right.
So say my internet is kind of stable, but
oh my goodness.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah. Nice.
That is beautiful.
That's awesome.
God.
Yeah, I was just working in the sketchbook, trying to come up with ideas, and I said, let me just work on see what happens. And over the last few mornings, I waited kind of till the last minute, but this came alive pretty much what I have to say, you know. I was just playing with the pose of the guy at the lower half, and its story kind of came together.
Yeah.
Just
that triangle shape again, like just that composition. It's just that's so cool.
Yeah, I was trying to read the eye with expression and play with perspective.
Love this. All in his hand.
Great line work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that the line work and just the feel and flow of it makes me not only think of the Frezetta, like how you set it up, because like where the darks are and you know where all the blacks would be in it, but like it also reminds me of like those old world books with those beautiful elaborate illustrations and them of like devils and like angels and stuff that you know just those old illustrations you'd see. I love that. It just has that feeling. I love that.
Well, that was definitely an influence too. So
yeah,
but definitely think, you know, I felt like I could have eventually get this, scan it, and paint it, but it's just another thing to add to the list, you know.
There's just so much going on in the lines. Like there's so much like raw energy in it. Now we got people on Facebook saying, yeah, so much detail in these lines. Rachel says. Dante's Inferno art from Jared. It's like you get real close and you just look at all the details. You see all the energy in the lines and stuff, and then if you like scoot back and look at it, you've got like in his legs. You see that on his right leg, there's like shapes and stuff for the shadow of the for his calf, like the front of his calf muscle. Like there's a lot of just like blocks of shapes, like in the muscles and stuff. Like if you. And I mean, I'm also watching it on the stream, and I don't know if it's just the contrast of the screen on my phone versus on the thing, but there's a lot of like really small detail in his anatomy that I think my monitor might be a little washed out, but there's a lot of depth, like as it tucks down where the darks go. There's a lot of like little details in there.
Well, and even with all the detail in the lines, I like the skull in the center. I mean, relatively simple compared to everything else, but it gives your eye a place to rest, and it pulls you in to that, and then like on up to his face where he's just grinning at the kid with the toothpick sword.
I can't get past that grin. That is ominous.
That skull has really no hard lines in it whatsoever. It's mostly like the shapes around it that kind of form.
It nails it.
Yeah. It's so you captured a lot and so little. Like it's.
Mm-hmm. You did that perfect thing where Frank, well, you captured like the moment where the guy is not afraid of anything at all. Like that is the most terrifying monster on the
naked dude with a sword,
like walking right up to it.
Now I'm not gonna be able to unsee that every time I look at it.
Where are you at, Kevin?
Oh, you were muffled.
Where are you like where are you at right now?
Sorry? My internet connection is like still Palm Bay, Florida.
Oh wow.
Oh you're from okay.
I'm living in Florida, Palm Bay.
Okay. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
You're
welcome.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Then there were two.
Then there were two.
You are
All
up
right.
next.
Let's do this.
Hey, Adam McLaughlin jumped in the Facebook feed. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, he messaged me earlier. He goes, "You gonna be live?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I figured that he was gonna do another like Macho Man like face swap or something. But and I saw he wasn't in this episode, so I have no idea what your tactics are, sir.
Oh, you looked at all the same pieces I did.
Yeah, I think everybody probably
It's
did.
a coffee table book. We all have it.
I just went to his website and just flipped through all of like the museum stuff and all the prints, and just gathered all of the stuff that really inspired me and caught my eye, and all the compositions that I really liked. So I tried to pick and pull different things from all these different pieces, and like I've got color swatches over here from like these purples and blues that he's got going on in some different pieces. And I just wanted to see how I could get these things to fit together all in one piece for me. I was introduced to Frezetta like 5 or 6 years ago by a very good friend of mine. And it has completely changed my life ever since. And I think a lot of people can say that same thing. So here's the pencil sketch. I went immediately to this sketch from just looking at those pieces and trying to get the feel of them.
Mm-hmm.
And in preparation, I also watched the Painting with Fire documentary to try to just get in his head and see what he was thinking and try to get that thought process down. But I thought it was incredible that he could just get these paintings done in like one night. He was saying stories about how the editors would just call him and needing the painting like the next day, and he's like, "Okay, we'll just throw a pot of coffee on and get to town." Like,
It will cost you, I hope is what he said.
Dude, he would have been great on the Pink Click.
Yeah.
Sometimes you guys do that.
Yeah, he would fit right in.
We at least have a month to kick it around before we wait to the last minute.
Yeah, true. Wow.
So
this is my first pass. on the watercolor.
Oh yeah.
I like the poses of the three on the bottom, like just their, like you know exactly what's going on with them, just the way their posture and.
I personally love the fact that she should be vulnerable because she's the naked one.
Well, you know, like it's
like the most powerful one in this painting.
It's the video game rules. Like the less armor on a woman, the more protected she is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now
I don't know about that, but sure.
Power.
So I'm gonna call this piece the Soul Reaper, because she is like the person to take all of the people's souls to hell, and I thought that was a fun story to put behind this.
She's got them all chained up there, like leading them.
And then that's the final piece I've got. I put gouache on top of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
And this was all traditional? Every bit of this?
Yep. This is all traditional. I started this on the 13th.
Oops. I really dig that silhouette of the mountain. Like everything's cool, but like I just again that simplicity of something, like you know when to start dropping lines and that speaks a lot.
Did you shift her hip?
Yeah, so I got a critique. My partner is a very awesome painter and artist. And she sits down at my desk and she looks at it before she's about to leave for work. And she's like, yeah, this, and that needs to change. But otherwise, I like all of it. And I'm like, okay, great. Now leave so I can change all this.
You're painting your naked
But she was totally right.
Yeah,
totally right.
Yeah.
So good.
Wow.
And I feel like this is something I'd see in heavy metal.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
It feels very old world, like it was done back then.
I love how even your signature is Frezetta inspired.
Tried to stylize it. Yeah.
I like the chainmail detail and all of the work on the links and the chains too. Like
I tried to do like a floral kind of pattern on their armor. Tried to throw some sci-fi into it too.
Nice.
I was also playing around with that like blue lighting on the palette here in the snake a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the piece.
I
don't know what I'm going to do with it, but what was that?
How big is it?
It's 16.53 inches by 11.69 inches. Like the most weirdest.
Did you cut it? Did you cut it down to that?
Is it?
No, this is the way the Arches paper comes.
Oh,
yeah, just like the oddest measurement.
Okay.
Just too awkward.
It's European measurements. That's why.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You artists always forcing me to spend more on frames than I do on art. They're all odd-shaped.
If you just ordered your frames in metric, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
I really
came out wonderful, man. Like beautiful colors. I love the main character there. I love the composition, the big planet, the moon behind her. I mean, you really tapped into Frezetta here.
Yeah, I really like how you tucked in a lot of darks without going like full black, which I know that we spent a lot of time talking about, like, man, don't be afraid of the blacks, and you get in there with the dark blacks, but like, like her, we had the previous piece where only her hair, it was in Gary's, you had only the hair in certain parts of the creature, but like that's been pretty consistent. Nobody's like just packed in blacks.
Right.
In their darkest, like it creates that very vintage kind of like that set in style that ties a lot of it together.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun.
The shape of the hair, if you could zoom in on the hair and the face and the hand, I think you did a great job with the shape of the hair, but not just that. It's a solid color with so little around the edges.
Right. Yeah.
And that tiny bit of highlight like gives it all the life it needs, so it feels really, really active. And I think it's really sharp how the darkest part of the image, the hair, frames the face and the hand, which are the two most important parts of the action here, in my opinion. But you just go right to them. It looks really good.
Thank
I
you.
like how the light's just catching her cheek right there too.
Yeah, that rim light around the edges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the foreshortening of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
You got the same highlights in the face that like are softer on the arm, so that it creates that depth, but it's still lit by the same source. You know, like it's like, yeah, Kyle, that was a really good point. Like the fact that that arm and the detail of it is captured in the dark of her hair, like that's a good point, man. That really stands
I tried
out.
to
I feel
keep
like I
that in
see
mind
this
too.
on Dragon magazine. I don't know if you guys remember that
Oh,
or
wow.
not.
I think I still have a few copies of that lying around somewhere.
Pretty much any of these I would be excited to see on the side of a panel van. You know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Incredible, Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's super
Thank you.
good.
All right. I'm gonna stop the share.
Go. All right, and now, Mr. Daryl, you are wrapping up the show tonight.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay,
Next-
so go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I saw you that you went back to an old style or old painting
Oh
technique.
yeah.
Yeah, I originally I had a job ending like at the end of October. I was like, I'm gonna have a whole month to work on it, which it didn't happen. It was this week. But I was like, I'm gonna do it in oil paints, which I did 2 oil paintings in college, so like 20 years ago. So we'll call it bold for me to go, let's just pick up oil paints and knock something out real quick.
Especially since it's still probably drying as we speak.
Oh no, yeah. So so I did oil and then I went over it. Basically, I'm trying to be kind to myself in that when I was trying to learn watercolor, as I was learning it, I would do the watercolor up to the point where I felt my skills kind of left me, and then I would take it into digital and finish it there because I was comfortable with that. And now I can do much better with watercolor. So I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing with the oil paintings. And so I'll show you where the oil painting was before I show you where it ended up, so I don't feel like I'm cheating. This is really confusing how it does this. Can you see my
great
screen?
oil
Yeah,
painting, right?
Yeah.
We see all the movies you're working on that you have to keep quiet.
So like everybody, they have the triangle composition. That was kind of an inspiration, and then I kind of wanted to go a little sci-fi.
Oh, yes.
I referenced this guy. I referenced Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Kind of their things, and then I wanted to do triangle composition, but I wanted the weight to feel different, and for some reason, okay, so then I thought zero gravity triangle, and then for whatever reason, if you haven't seen the movie Life Force, which because I was like thinking of the things Frank Frezetta, I was like, okay, so sexy women have to be in there somehow, and Life Force has like it's space vampires. And
I'm gonna have to watch this movie now.
no, it's amazing. Like Toby Hooper is a great director. He's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all just amazing stuff anyway. But it has Patrick Stewart's first major screen role, and it is also his first on-screen kiss. But he is being inhabited by a female spirit at one point. The basic premise is that when they bite you, you become a zombie if you don't feed. Like it's nuts. It's an amazing movie. So Life Force. Watch it. So at any rate, so I'm thinking vampire space stuff. I actually took notes so I would kind of keep on the thing. I kind of hovered between ink and painting, and then I decided to do painting because I need to learn oil anyway. So this was my oil painting.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
And this is where I got it's 18 by 24.
Yeah, man, that looks.
I think. And I like, again, I was like, I can do oil. That's fine. And it's not. I think I went too heavy on the linseed oil, honestly.
I would say, did you mix?
Yeah. I think I did. In like college, I definitely was working with all my art supplies from a scarcity model. I too little paint with too much vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think I carried that into here because it was not doing what I wanted. But again, in trying to be kind to myself for learning, I am really happy with how his face
dude, no, it's yeah.
And that first thing, but a lot of other things I was kind of annoyed with, and I couldn't get the detail. But so that's
no, you should be kind to yourself because there's so much going on in those figures, especially the way they're stacked like that, and you captured that motion, that reach of all of them. Like they're still like stacked and piled on top of each other, but they still stand out individually. Like they're.
I like how you inverted the triangle.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I just trying to do something different. And to be fair, I did Graphite Studios references. I did put this together, and the background is all just me messing around with colors and shapes, and then generative fill just to see what it would do for me.
Sure.
So I had my reference. So that's that, and then that's where I ended up today.
Oh, cool.
Oh, see, yeah.
Nice.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, just trying to kind of play with the lines. Like, it's not super easy to see, but and again, I threw the blood and the lasers in like literally 5 minutes before the show started. But I wanted the line of the blood and then the lasers, and
you should be really impressed with yourself, man, especially with the background, because there's so much that could have been really convoluted. It could have been really muddy, and it's not. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. There's a lot of stuff with each of those figures, and the way they're stacked that. It's really clean. There's nothing that you couldn't go in and just kind of blend in things later if you wanted. You know what I mean? If you wanted to. It's all there. It's.
And that's kind of I'm gonna spend more time with it, but. Yeah,
that background, man.
Do a little bit of a liquid clear or something, like some sort of like a clear coat, and you can just kind of just blend in other tones on top of it at any time, but I don't think you need to, man. There's so much going on in the background, and everything still stands out so well.
I love the background. I love the big gutsy strokes. You're just like bam, and you leave it alone. And all of them together create a real space. But if you zoom in, it's just like one big stroke.
But what's important is their faces, man. Those you nailed the face, each of their facial expressions, even his in under the glass.
Well, I like the color design here too. His spacesuit. Immediately look at him, and then you start seeing everything kind of fan out from his point of view. Well, the trail of blood that runs off to the left and the lasers that run off to the right. It just kind of enforces that inverted triangle. I like that a lot.
And I really wanted the attention to stay on him despite the giant, massive, naked female.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it works, especially since you want to wonder, I want to turn the can. I've already I have my hand on my mouse. I may be looking for the rotate.
Well, no,
it's not. So I'm just I almost want to turn the canvas around multiple ways just to see.
I did this while I painted, and switched it randomly to kind of because I wanted it to work kind of from any.
It does. It takes on a completely different. Yeah. See, every angle, man. It should.
Yeah. What happens? Can you flip it? Can you mirror it and then put it horizontally?
Right. I'm not
sure. And then rotate 90 degrees to the left.
To kind of
counterclockwise.
Yeah, I mean that just looks so cool.
Kind of like it better that way.
I mean, horizontally, it looks like he's trapped in space, and he's literally just being forced by whatever. He did this jump back, and he's I don't know. Every rotation has its own little story to it.
I imagine this, looking at it this way with the inverted triangle again. I am coming from a graphic design background. I imagine this on a book cover with the title there up the front and on all the figures bleeding in behind the title.
Yeah.
And then coming down to him. I mean, I can see it on a book cover. So
I'd be interested to just sell a handful of these prints.
Well,
and then just see how they frame them and get just see what they do when they pick them up. Just because you're going to get a handful of different
And like I said, I really wanted it to feel like it flowed right, no matter how it was. But I figured if it was this way, at least it would be more clear. And I mean, I got a little blatant with the gravity off that that they're kind of floating.
Yeah, but in space it doesn't matter, like that's that trail of blood though. That's so bright, and it still leads to him, but it doesn't matter in which way. Like no, this is a really clever. Like I see what you mean. Like, did you get halfway through it and think like, I mean, did you feel like you made a mistake like at all during it? Because I would have. That's what the only reason I brought that up is like.
Yeah, I don't think I have them on it. I took photos of like every single step, and like the day after, I did the background first, and just kind of left them empty, and I was like, man, I was dumb.
Oh,
to do this in oil because I was trying to keep it simple, but man, it did not feel like it was turning into anything. But yeah,
that's beautifully done.
Yeah, you totally achieved that thing that we all did where you capture that moment, like right before he's about to get got.
Yeah.
And he's just fighting for his life. You've got that moment.
Yeah, and that's like at one point I had the door open, but I closed it because I really I didn't want it to feel like he was getting away. I wanted that question, like, is he about to get tore apart or?
So when it was closed or when it was open, what was out there? Outer space?
No, it was. Do I have that other? Oh, I don't. It was like part of an airlock, just some like random nonsense lines to look like something technical.
I also love that it does, like Shannon was saying, it feels like a book cover or a movie poster, and I love that the bodies together almost look like a big vampire fang itself.
Oh, nice.
Coming down on the
wow,
guy in the spacesuit.
Oh, yeah. Rachel says the different levels of the transformed vampires is really cool. I didn't even think about that. Like each one's kind of at a different phase.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how well that would play off because I
noticed that there was a difference, but yeah, when you put it like that, like it makes sense that each one, that one's like full on bat mode. It didn't even.
Yeah. And that my original concept was this would be like a werewolfy looking thing, like wolves and bats. And I was like, there's so much going on. I got to simplify it. So yeah, it's just more batty. Like, was it Wayne Bruce from Batman comics? Like
nice.
And then just trying to drop it as it gets closer to.
You got that man bat ear.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you Rachel on Facebook, how would you sign this? I guess that would be the tip, wouldn't it? Like that would depending on how you signed it. If you signed it on the front, that would determine how people turn it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean maybe because I would probably do it. I don't know. That's a good question. Because like this would make some people go, oh, it should be like that. So maybe that would be the thing that confuse them. Was sign it right here.
Oh yeah,
and that's that. So
yeah,
they turn it right
do exactly that. No, I'd say you stick with your stick with your concept.
Yeah,
but no, this is really cool.
So if nothing else, I got some oil painting practice, and
yeah, absolutely, man.
So
that's awesome.
I want to see you do some more
and trees
oil
and stuff. There's a process, but people, they're tough. They're always tough.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I love these episodes. But now it is time for the plug zone. So now, if you want to see more of these wonderful artists, either in person or online, or hear what they're up to, that's going to happen right now. And we're going to go in the same order that you guys presented. So Isaac, you're up first.
Ike Comics on YouTube, ikecomics.com, and I'm on cleverkaiju.com.
There you go. All right. Eric, how about you?
What was that? I'm sorry.
It's plug zone.
Wake up, Eric. It's the plug
zone. All right. I'm all good. It's at e.dangerright on Instagram. Let's see, edangerright.com. You can find me there. And I just completed a large piece of public art for the Tulsa Drillers, which is pretty rad. If you're if you're in this area, you can go check it out at Driller Stadium.
Awesome.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
man. That's
Sweet,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Shannon, where can we see more of you?
You can find me on Art of Shannon Potratz on Instagram and on Facebook. And then I don't have anything coming up right away, but I'll be hitting Planet Comic Con in March. So
Oh, right on.
Sweet.
All right. Already
Love
got my
it.
tickets.
Kyle, how about you?
So I post a lot on Threads and Facebook under my name, Kyle Strom. You can find me on my website also, kylestrom.com, and I'll be there with Shannon at Planet Comic Con.
Yeah.
I'll look for you.
We're gonna blink and it'll be time. Right?
Kyle, I love the tips you always share on Facebook. I see those
Oh,
pop
thank
up.
you.
Those are nice and
yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
Thank you.
Kat, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at catm.illustrations or on my website by the same name. So
Sweet. Gary, you were next.
You can find me at artist Gary Bedell. That's GaryBedell. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and artistgarybedell.com, which links to all that stuff. And you can find me mostly on Clever Kaiju, hanging out and doing some sketchbook tours here and there and showing my sketchbook pages. So come to cleverkaiju.com as well. Come hang out. We'll see you there.
Right, Kevin, where can we see more of you?
You can find me at Kevin M. Russell Art on Instagram. Same for YouTube and same on Facebook. And that's where you can find me.
Cool, man.
Perfect. Josh.
You can find me at
There he is.
cleverkaiju.com, Josh Metter Art on Instagram, joshmetterart.com. You can find me on YouTube as well under all that. I update my comic book every day, or not every day, every week on the cleverkaiju.com. So just look out for that. Every Sunday or so I post a new page.
Right on, man.
tweet,
Yeah.
tweet.
Hey, and Daryl, how about you?
You can find me at nightsend.com or Airlaben on Instagram. I've had this same sign for 2 seasons now, so
Yeah.
it's
That's the best idea when you guys do that. Very visual. You guys need to plug the Clever Kaiju Discord for sure. Invite everybody to join you there. So
Absolutely. There's a lot of work that you don't see, and there's a lot of stuff that's by incredible. We have, I think we're putting like 300 artists like worldwide on the Clever Kaiju Discord. And there's a lot of artwork that, I mean, that gets inspired by the show, but then there's a lot of people that like get the give feedback section and the show and tell sections are probably the most popular sections on the Discord, and it's just people sharing their work, their progress, getting advice, giving advice. It's created like this whole like ecosystem of artists that it's an amazing thing to watch. I'm always on it, but I'm always in the background. Every now and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I should probably post something here. And the feedback I get and the advice that I get is incredible. I'm personally, most of the artwork I do belongs to somebody else, so I don't get to just freely share it. But it's been very inspiring for me to do special projects. Like I see somebody on our Discord that's working with colors or shapes or line work in some way, and I'm like, I want to do that. And we're all victims of it, where we just like, I'm going to do an art piece, and to be able to do a piece of artwork that I can share and show amongst my peers. It's cool to just show it on Facebook and like, look what I can do, but to show it amongst other artists and get their approval, that hits different. And it's something that's just constantly rolling
peer respect is
with
the
Discord. And what's that?
The peer respect is the thing.
It's different for me anyways. Yeah. So it's definitely inspiring I'm doing artwork that I've never even done before, that I never even considered doing before, just from watching you guys do it. And this pen click from season 1 on, like each of you have grown so much and experimented with so many different things, and it's it's perfect. Like it, and then we have the website for people who want to take it that next stage. Isaac worked really hard building an infrastructure for us to be like, all right, well, now you're doing things. Now you're taking all those skills that you worked on all these years, and now you're using them for these things, and you want to show them to the world. Here's an online publishing setup where you can show your art, you could sell your work, you can post on a regular basis. We have full on web comics, we have like full graphic novels, it's just so much going on, like inspiring people, educating them, and then giving them a place to put their work when it's done. It's a triple threat. So I'm really proud of all of you and all the hard work.
See, be a part of that. Join the Clever Kaiju Discord, everybody. Check it out. I think you'll like it. I peek in there every once in a while, and there's some incredible stuff going on. So
I just want to say you can get to that from our website. That's where you'll find the link to the Discord and the invite to that.
Just did it live.
Yeah.
So now I'm on the for 2 minutes.
Cleverkaiju.com. KAIJU.
look at that. We converted somebody.
I'm terrible about using my Discord, but I'll try and be
That's
better
fine.
about it.
And it's one of those things like it's always there. You're always invited. You're never expected. It's just it just becomes kind of there's a lot of people who lurk from the shadows, and then eventually they're like, hey, like the D&D episode. They're like, oh hey, I draw D&D characters too. Here's thing. So we want to incorporate the stuff that we have in our community to, like, if these episodes, if you go back, and it doesn't matter how old the episode is, if you go back and be like, no, I draw stuff like that too, and you want to share it in the Discord, we want to put it in the show. Like, we want to, provide with your permission, of course. So, that's.
Well, it's not like it's all like polished, finished work too. It's like,
right. Yeah.
He's messing with the pen. It's a sketch. It's all ages, all skills. It's awesome just to drop it. See stuff.
All right, and now.
Well, you need to plug you, Deanna.
Huh?
You need to plug you.
PlayCoGames.com. There's some awesome games there. Still for sale. Attic
It's Christmas. It's Christmas season.
It is. I should have done that commercial you kept asking me to do.
Board
but
games
I
are still really popular. And you got the good ones. So
I do. We still gotta play it. We need to make that happen.
Yeah, no, we should. Yeah.
But next month, December 19th, because of course Christmas falls on the last Thursday or fourth Thursday or whatever we do. Last Thursday. So December 19th at 8 p.m., we are bringing back the White Elephant Art Exchange. So the artists will send me a piece of art or a character, a design, something of theirs that they've created. I will take all those pieces, mix them up, and pass them back out. And then they will draw whatever they get in their style. And that's the gift. Hey, I just had a good idea. You should make me physical copies and send them to me. I'm joking.
You don't have the wall space for that, ma'am.
Dude, it's just not on the camera. That's why we moved. Remember? We needed a bigger comic book room.
Yeah.
So anyway, we hope to see all of you out there in internet land back next month. I hope to see a lot of you back next month. If you're not signed up, clickers here and out there, if you're not signed up, sign up, because I gotta get that art soon so I can pass it out. So with that, thank you guys all so much for joining us tonight and making the show what it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Any last words, Gary?
No, thank you, Internet Land. We really appreciate you, and to our artists, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to do a piece for the show, and hopefully we'll see you guys in future episodes. Internet Land, keep it classy.
All right, mute mics.
Boy.